Welcome to Future Successors Podcast, where the future is now. Good afternoon, my name is Maya Ford.
My name is Saul Watson.
And we are here with Mr. Ryan Wilson, the CEO of the Gathering Squad. How's your day been?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, man. It's a good morning, good afternoon right now as I speak. What about you, Maya?
I think I'm doing pretty good. It's actually a funny story, right? So when COVID happened, I actually interviewed you before. So I interviewed you when I was like at the beginning of my high school career in ninth grade. Now I'm graduating, I'm going to go to college. So it's like a full circle moment for me.
No, it's I remember that it was over Zoom. It was one of those COVID. We couldn't go anywhere when we last talked. So
it was all stuck.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just something that's like that for me. I was like, oh my god, that's so full circle for me. Like I feel like my knowledge, especially where I'm at, has grown so much. So how do you feel like relationships play in helping you go along the way? You know, like expanding and stuff.
Well, first, congratulations to y'all. Like y'all are very excited. I'm jealous for it. I'm so many years removed now from that season of my life. I wish I could go back, but relationships are everything, right? Like at the end of the day, people talk about business. A lot of times when we talk about business models, right? It's always this idea that if you create like the right product or have the right positioning for a thing, that would be what it. And like that's important. But at the end of the day, it's all about people. Like it's showing up when people ask you to show up. It's looking people in the eye, telling them that you're going to do something. The fundamentals, something people have been talking to us about since kindergarten. Mm-hmm. All of those things are to me the most important when you're talking about starting or scaling a business.
Well, I have a question. Well, I don't know about your upbringing because now, I went to a college campament. He was at your spot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of influential people that go to the gathering spot and they come hang out. What helped you? What motivated you to get to the gathering spot?
So that day that you're referencing, that's one of my favorite moments. We've hosted a lot of things. I mean, it's probably like you were there. That's crazy. Yeah,
I still got my shirt.
Yeah, I got my shirt too.
No, that was so we probably hosted I don't know somewhere near 10,000 events at TGS over the years, and it's moments like those that really honestly show what the whole thing was about for me in the beginning, right? So my upbringing, I was raised in Atlanta. Plan growing up was to be an attorney, so I went to undergrad in DC. I went to law school, went to Georgetown for both, and it was while I was at Georgetown that I started to think about having a place where we could come together to do all the stuff that we've been talking about, right? So we could have the people of the day, people who were like on the front lines of the stuff that we cared about most, have a place where they could come and talk about whatever, right? So that kicked off a conversation with one of my college roommates, and we started saying, "Hey, we're going to make a run at making this happen," and that was the summer of 2013. So I graduated from law school, decided that I would not practice law, and have been running the business ever since. I've never had a job.
Okay. I like that. That's pretty amazing.
It's funny where life takes you. I don't even really encourage people to do. You got to run your own race, right? You got to follow your own path. For some people, you need to go work somewhere and like learn about the thing that you're passionate about, and then start. For some people, it's never about starting a business. I have folks that have been on our team for 9 years now, right? And although I'm the person that is talked about as the entrepreneur, they're entrepreneurial, right? They've been there the entire time as we were building the company, and like walked into conversations where we had no idea how we were going to make the next thing happen, and they've helped to make those solutions possible, right? So you have to do the thing that you're most passionate about. To me, is what's most important. There's a lot of ways to make a dollar, and business, right? Starting a company may be one of them if that's your path. But like, you could have never told me in undergrad, in high school, undergrad, or law school that I would be doing this right now.
Yeah. No, we've had like Miss Nikki, like you've been a part of the Future Successors for a long time, and it just clicked to me when he was like, "Oh, this is your job." He was like, "You've never had a job." I was like, "Oh." Like hearing it and like thinking about it, it takes me back for a second.
No, that's crazy.
No, I
took a shot.
You did take a shot. Most people wouldn't take that shot. That's commendable.
I mean, like I appreciate the job, but like seriously, especially while you're young, right? There's as time goes on, and it's never too late, right? So you'll see people who started businesses way late in life and been very successful. My thought at the time though was that it doesn't get easier as time goes on, right? So when I'm talking about starting a business, I'm not married, I don't have any kids. It was just the thing that I needed to figure out how to take care of was me. As time goes on, it's a very different life for me now. I'm married, I've got 2 kids, right? I've got a whole different set of responsibilities from where I was a decade ago. And would I make the same decision right now with those responsibilities? I would like to say I would. But if you have an opportunity to take a shot, right, there's never going to be a perfect day or perfect set of circumstances. But in many cases, to me, the earlier the better. Why not?
All right, so speaking about COVID and how like we were all everybody was in the house in COVID. Nobody was going out. Everybody's trying to be safe. What was your like moment of resilience? Because I can say for me, I went to an entirely different environment in COVID. Like I was going to a new high school. I didn't know nobody. I played sports at the time, so I was joining a new sports team. Like my moment of resilience was making that team. It was having those friendships, even when I felt like I was so isolated. I still went and took a chance on myself. So what would be yours?
It was trying to make sure that our business didn't close, right? So the name of the company is The Gathering Spot, right? And I remember watching the news one day, and they were like, "Don't gather." That's what they were like. And I just was staring at the screen like I can't believe that they said "Don't gather." It wasn't "Don't meet." Don't. I mean, it was like "Don't gather." I'm like that word association
It's
with
so
our company.
bad.
That's so bad. At the same time, so my daughter, my first child was born April 4th, 2020. And so world shuts down in March. So I know I'm about to be a father right as our business is in the most critical time it's ever been in, right? Every event that we had on the books canceled. I brought our team into an office and I was like, look, I don't know what this is. We don't know what this is, right? We know that we aren't supposed to be able to be together in the way that we traditionally have. We got to go back to why we started this thing in the first place. How can we be helpful to people? And ultimately, like we can't close, right? Like personally, this doesn't work for me, and like professionally, like none of this can't be how all of this ends. And we became determined, resilient, just and like we didn't know how we were going to figure it out. And the theme of that time, we had a campaign that was called "We All We Got,"
Yes.
and we started to do. That's one of the time periods of the business that I'm most proud of. We were more creative during that time than we had ever been.
Yes, sir. Well, it's gonna be hard. Like in COVID, I guess as it was a very hard. Like what connections, like relationship that you built that made it help you along the way in your business.
So the youngest member of TGS is 21. The oldest is 92.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
So,
That's crazy.
so I met my job. Honestly, at the end of the day, is meeting people. I don't do anything else more than just connect with folks. So at this point, you do that year after year after year after year. Like you meet a lot of people. I mean, we've hosted and built relationships with a ton of people. I mean, Gather Spot from the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, to LeBron James, Drake, and artists that you never heard of before, and businesses that are just getting like we see it all at TGS. I'll say though, a mistake that I think people make a lot of times, it isn't often about the name that you feel like you need, like that everybody knows. It's all the people around those people, right? That I spend time building relationships with, right? Because you might know an artist, and like that's the person that everybody feels like they want to go talk to, but it's their manager, their attorney, their accountant, like all the people that make the business that is that person happen. What I specialize in is that I have real relationships with those folks, and um, I prioritize doing what I said I was going to do when they ask me to do something or if they need a favor, if I can be helpful. My goal is to try to figure out how to make that happen.
Right. It seems like you're a very hard-working person. Like it seems like you never stop. So like going to law school, going to college, like so far away from home. Like we're going to college a little. I'm going far. It's going a little bit far.
4 hours.
So what do you think helps you with that hard work? Like what gets you up? What makes you go by yourself? Nobody telling you. Like, what did you have to motivate you?
As far as I understand, I only get a chance to do life one time. And if this is my one shot at it, I got to try to maximize it, right? And so, look, I mean, rest and is important, right? You should find moments of rest, right? But like, rest is also practice. It's a discipline. It isn't just sitting around and being lazy. So I take a lot of pride in trying to make sure that, like, again, if this is my one shot at it, how can I maximize this one opportunity? I also will say, tied to that is that you'll go to school, maybe you even had this experience already, where you look over and you'll see folks that you feel like are doing better, right? And so I used to spend a lot of time studying those people, like, why do I, like, what are they doing? Like, what's the secret to their sauce?
Yeah.
And what I found over time is that, like, I'm not that smart, but what I am is a person that can grind it out. And when I studied the people that I really respected, they're not that smart either, right? They're half the time it's just people that show up and make the things that they want to have happen, right? And when I figured that out, it was like, well, we're just gonna have to go play the game. And I can lose the game if I actually played it. Like, if I went and applied myself and I tried my best and I lost, I could live with that outcome. I can't live with the outcome that I never played and stood on the sideline. I didn't walk in the arena, right? I let y'all play, right? Because again, I only get one time to do this, right? So all the cool, positive, good stuff can't be for everybody over there, and I'm supposed to just take whatever's out here in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So if the difference is getting a little work done, all right. I mean, I'm in my 30s right now. Like, I'm not in a season of my life where slow down, like, what we're slowing down for. I'll slow down I'll have a season in my life where I can.
Going right now.
I can take, but right now, you gotta go when you have, when you have energy. Like, I don't know if y'all have noticed this. I've been watching a lot of the Olympics.
I love the Olympics.
I love it.
They doing their thing out there.
Yeah, they are.
See,
But
say,
look at the age. They're all y'all's age, not mine. Right? Like,
Anthony Edwards, they be young.
most of the people that are at the top of their game athletically at the Olympics, most of them are not in their 30s. There's very few people that actually. You're old in that, and most of those games are 27, 28, right? Like, so you've got to try to maximize. Like, if you've got a window, you've got to try to make everything that you can accomplish in that period of time. Now, look, I'm not saying life is over. Those athletes will move to a different season of their life, and we'll have new goals to go chase. But you can't. I mean, if you're an elite runner, by the time you hit my age, like, you're not probably going to be that elite anymore. So run hard right now.
I got a quick question for you. What separates the gathering spot from any other home, like,
It's the people.
place?
The people. We have a collection of people that, like, can't be beat. I mean, from the mayor of the city to, again, national political figures to CEOs that run massive companies to CEOs that are starting startups, right? To creatives. Like, there are going to be very few places that you can go to get that sort of reach to a lot of different types of people at the same time. And then because we've built them now across the country, that same sort of network exists in multiple places, right? So all in all, my interest is really not about space. My interest is in how you leverage bringing people together.
Yes, sir.
I like that
too.
And we'll build the spaces, but the spaces aren't. That actually isn't. At the end of the day, like, people, it's tables and chairs. You can make them nice. You can make them terrible. People remember conversations, who helped them when they were looking for the next opportunity, who they could pick up the phone and call. That's what I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
No, I think I can say like about the gathering spot because there'll be a lot of times where, like, just like, not to push love or anything, but just to, like, wrap this up. There'll be a lot of times where me and my friends, we did dual enrollment, and a lot of times at our school, like, even our school and even our college, like, y'all can't be on this campus right now. Like, y'all not allowed to be here right now. Y'all need to go find somewhere else to work. And we'd be like, we can't sit at home. Like, if I sit at home, I'm gonna stay asleep to my next class. So like having places like the gathering spot, or like even like little other places that we could go in and we could sit and we could do our work and we could just be around and like just be us and be comfortable. I really do like. I love those spaces. It's one of those.
There can't be enough of them, right? Like there need to be a lot of places where people can find a home, feel comfortable, know that they can get work done, but the work is tied to the people that you're around getting it done with, right? So that's the thing that again I think that we've always been focused on. From the first paragraph that I ever wrote about TGS, I was talking about that, not talking about building. I don't have a dream of building 100 buildings. I have a dream of making hundreds and thousands and beyond that connections.
Understand. Well, you really you're hitting us with a lot here. You're saying like it's rather like you'd rather have connections than more than like just seeing each other. You want us to be involved in each other and understand each other.
Yeah, look, I will encourage y'all that as you enter this next season in your life, going to college, there's two things you're gonna get out of that experience, right? The first is an academic one, right? So you're gonna be in class, you're gonna learn what you learned there, you're gonna select a major at some point, and you'll get very specific about a certain subject. Like do that and do it well. It's very important, right? That you're able to show that you can go through that process. The second thing that you leave with that I think people sleep on is that you leave with a network of people who shared that experience with you. I can't tell you how many times like the folks that you were in school with that network comes back up, right? And so they take that seriously. I think a lot of times people, like, oh, we're just here. I'm just in high school. People remember how you showed up in high school. All of us can remember. I got people from 6th and 7th grade that like if they walked in here right now, I still look at them like I can't stand you, right? Like, and they're whole adults right now, right? So people remember you when you met them. And again, I'm not saying people can't evolve, but to the extent that you can show up positively and build relationships with people, folks will remember that, right? The person from 6th grade you ever talked to forever, if you had a good relationship with them.
Especially with social media. Now I got
Absolutely.
like I'm not following you. Like
Yeah,
I can't
too
do
much.
no more.
But later though, you'll be in your 50s trying to figure out how to get X, Y, or Z done. And that same person that you had a good relationship with, you'll be like, look, we're gonna talk in a minute, but we were cool 25 years ago. I'm gonna reach out to them that we were cool in college. And you'd be surprised how much of an impact that has throughout our life. So I don't talk to my high school friends, my college friends every day, but that network still is active for me. If I need them, if they need me, we know each other.
I like that. I respect that.
I appreciate you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
It's nice meeting you.
I'm excited for y'all. Enjoy college.
Yes, sir.